This might be deemed a controversial statement by a lot of people, but Brock Lesnar actually is best for business in the WWE. Now, I understand a lot of people might not be happy hearing that, but that unfortunately does not change the fact that it is true. WWE as a business operates for the sole reason of making money, and Brock Lesnar is the pinnacle of making money for the company. I'm going to go into quite a lot of detail as to the reasons and the why for this. But before I get started, please don't forget to leave me a like and let's jump in. In order to understand why Brock Lesnar is best for business, we have to start with the basics, those being the ratings. Now, a lot of people do seem to throw the accusation at me and fellow wrestling journalists quite a lot that we only really care to report ratings and nothing actually important. Whether or not the last week or so has dispelled that image, we'll have to wait and see. But when it comes to the ratings, they play such a tiny part in actually assessing whether someone has drawing potential and is valuable to the company. Ratings only account for however many people are watching the live product at that moment. They don't account for views after the fact or views on social media, catch-up TV, or other platforms such as YouTube, which do play a part. Lately we haven't seen many individual spikes for certain segments, especially in between shows. The viewership tends to be quite consistent in that it starts high and slowly goes slightly lower, with the exception of a couple of weeks recently when SmackDown peaked during the second hour instead of the first. The reason this is happening is that the WWE isn't built around particular stars. It's built around the company as a whole, and the whole concept that everyone on that show should be at least a little bit over, otherwise they don't even get on TV. Essentially, when it comes to Brock Lesnar, the ratings tell us almost nothing. While Brock Lesnar's average rating for when he is on TV is higher than that of a Seth Rollins or a Charlotte Flair, the reason for this has a lot to do with the limited amount of dates that he works. While those dates do have a higher viewership, there's no evidence to suggest that it is Brock Lesnar that is the reason for this, because those appearances tend to be before big shows or in the lead into WrestleMania, when historically ratings are high for the WWE, as compared to after WrestleMania when historically ratings are always low. Now, ratings are what is often used as the beating stick to put down Brock Lesnar and anyone who says that Brock Lesnar is a draw. However, these same people are saying that ratings aren't everything, and they're really not. One thing that Brock Lesnar offers that very few people at the top level in wrestling or any level in wrestling can offer is major mainstream coverage. The only people who come close are your John Cena's, sometimes your Undertakers. You see it all the time on WWE programming, where they will highlight a CBS or a New York Post article in their hype packages to show that the world is talking about something that has happened. While you'll see plenty of Fox and Forbes, you don't see a lot of Sportskeeda or Wrestling Inc. This is because they want to create the impression that the world is talking, not just wrestling media, because wrestlers, by their very nature, are striving to get over beyond wrestling, to draw new viewers in. I went to Google in research for this piece and I searched for Lesnar's name. My results included, in the first 3 pages, Bleacher Report, The Sun, which is a UK newspaper, the New York Post, TalkSport, ESPN, The Independent, Fox Sports, and even IMDb in those first 3 pages. If I search for someone else, for example Kevin Owens, a very popular figure, even though he does have an IMDb entry, most of what is covered there is either from the WWE themselves or pro wrestling outlets. It is inside the bubble. That shows that Brock Lesnar has a much wider mainstream appeal, and that means he can attract and is more appealing to casual viewership, which is what the WWE strive for. WWE's business model is actually quite simple. They want every single person, all of the billions of people in the world, to know who Liv Morgan is, to be actively supporting Renee Young, to be buying merchandise from Apollo Crews, and to be desperately searching for social media content from Roderick Strong. They want every single member of their roster to be a household name, because if you know someone and support someone, you are going to be helping to make money from that person. If millions of people are buying Liv Morgan merchandise, Liv Morgan is on TV for 20 minutes every single week. Brock Lesnar is one of very few people who already have that. whenever he appears on screen, there is always a spike in interest and a spike in merch from casual viewership. And of course, people who are not fans of him, even in wrestling fandom, fan that flame. They keep him trending, they keep him popular. In the world of social media as we have it at the moment, whether you like someone or you hate them, you are making them more popular by actively being either in or not support of them. Now, the company by and large doesn't care all that much about the hardcore wrestling audience, because the hardcore wrestling audience already know the names of the wrestlers, they already support the wrestlers, they already buy wrestling merch. So why would you need to appeal to them when you can appeal to casual viewers and make more money on top of what you already make? An example of this in the pro wrestling bubble is that sometimes when you are in that bubble, it feels like everyone is talking about Drew McIntyre right now. Drew has done a lot of solid work. He is the new WWE champion. He beat Brock Lesnar, and he has been doing a lot of media in support of that. And that's particularly reached a UK mainstream audience. However, that is still a niche audience. He's very mainstream in the UK, but he has only just reached that level. Outside of the UK, he is still mostly covered by wrestling media only. Outside of that bubble, people still talk about The Undertaker, they talk about John Cena, they talk about Triple H, and they talk about Brock Lesnar. When I say to someone that I'm a wrestling journalist, when they've finished scoffing at the concept, they always ask if The Undertaker is still wrestling. Despite everything in the Last Ride documentary, I am still going to be saying yes. That said, in addition to mainstream media, Brock Lesnar still gets favourable coverage from wrestling media. Even if I just use the most popular rating concept, that being the 5-star system from the Wrestling Observer, I put together a little list of highly rated Brock Lesnar matches since he returned in 2012. Extreme Rules 2012, his return match was a 4.5. SummerSlam 2013 against CM Punk was a 4.5. Royal Rumble 15 against Cena and Seth Rollins, 4.75. WrestleMania against Roman Reigns, 4.5. Hell in a Cell 15 against The Undertaker was a 4.25. SummerSlam 2017 against Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns was a 4.75. And then Survivor Series that year against AJ Styles was a 4.25. Survivor Series the next year against Daniel Bryan, a 4.5. This is all extremely good match ratings, especially when you consider how few matches per year that Brock Lesnar has. Of course, we also have to highlight his efforts for WrestleMania and of course the Royal Rumble this year, where Brock Lesnar did more than anyone to make Drew McIntyre look like an absolute star. There are bad matches the same as anyone has. Cain Velasquez, Dean Ambrose and Braun Strowman are 3 people that Lesnar has not delivered when in a ring with. Despite this, Lesnar's match quality rating average is on New Japan levels, and this from a wrestling site that believes New Japan to be the absolute pinnacle of wrestling. We cannot ignore just how high quality these matches are. His matches with Styles, Bryan and Balor quite recently are so rewatchable, despite being basically exactly the same match. In addition to this, Brock Lesnar also makes the WWE a lot of money when he's nowhere near the product. If he doesn't wrestle for a year, he will still make the company a lot of money, not just in very high and consistently high merch sales, but also when it comes to social media and YouTube. Now at the moment, YouTube is not a prime earner for the WWE, although I have been told several times it is a platform they are looking to use a lot more, because it is a low cost, low effort way to keep money continually rolling in, and it's one of the major additions that they have that make sure that no other company is anywhere close to being competitive right now. Let me give you some examples. If I search for Brock Lesnar on YouTube, the top WWE video has 19 million views. Based on YouTube's current pay scale, that individual video has made them anywhere between $57,000 and $95,000, and likely cost them around $50 total in pay for the editor who put it together from footage they already own. It is 11 months old and will still get clicks as we move into the future. It still provides them with social media content as well. If I filter by view count, The top Brock Lesnar video has 163 million views. By YouTube's current algorithm, that is 489,000 to $815,000. It is a 7-minute clip that has been cut out of an episode of Raw. So in total, it probably took about 20 minutes to make and cost at most $10. The return is incredible. If I compare those numbers to, for example, AJ Styles, a man who many consider to be the best wrestler in the world, his top video has only 15 million viewers. That's his entrance music. YouTube makes considerable money for the WWE, and the amount that Brock Lesnar earns them is astronomical compared to the effort that goes into it. YouTube also directs traffic to the WWE, especially for a cross-brand star like Lesnar. If someone puts a search in looking for the MMA fight between Lesnar and Mark Hunt, they will see WWE content, and if they're not familiar with the WWE, they will quickly become it, because there are playlists upon playlists of what Brock Lesnar has been up to. A final note on the ease at which Brock Lesnar can be slid into storylines: he doesn't even require any storytelling because you can tell the same story repeatedly. Some of this is because he takes time off, but also his character is so ingrained in wrestling that he doesn't have to be there making any effort. For example, Roman Reigns' entire feud with Lesnar was built around the idea that Brock Lesnar was lazy. Seth Rollins, a year later at WrestleMania, his entire feud with Lesnar was built around the concept that Brock Lesnar is lazy. Drew McIntyre hit the exact same notes for a third year in a row of events with Brock Lesnar as the active champion, and the storyline was that he's lazy. If you want to create a star, Brock Lesnar is a guy you have to beat. Defeating Brock Lesnar, or even just sharing a ring with him, sends waves and ripples around the mainstream media and gets widespread casual attention. People are more likely to hear about you if you are in a match with Brock Lesnar than if you have a 6-star match with AJ Styles. As wrestling fans, we have to be aware that more often than not, we are not the target audience. Brock Lesnar really typifies that. We are not the ones making the WWE the most money. And that is one of the reasons Brock Lesnar is best for business. Business for the WWE is about making money, and Brock Lesnar has made the money every second of his career. I want to thank everyone for watching. In future, I feel I might do more of a deep dive into the YouTube content that the WWE creates and the amount of money that they do make for it. There'll be more ideas coming soon. For example, I do want to talk about the concept of being over and what that actually means, using examples from Xavier Woods and other details that I've had in discussion with wrestlers such as William Regal and Triple H. Please tune in for those as well. But for this one, I want to thank you very much for watching. I have been Tom Colohue. Thank you for joining me.